Well, I guess for your children going to college or anyone currently in college, is there one thing you would over-index on while you're in school?
I mean, I so want him to go and find purpose, and to forget what I do and how I do it and what his mom does, and like be more centered on values, and then to like give himself time to try things. And obviously the thing I care most about is his humanity, and that he's kind and giving, and that he has fun. You find your humanity by like trying stuff and having fun and meeting people, and like those things go together. And like a lot of that's a little counterintuitive. Like the popular idea of how you find clarity is you work your tail off to get the job at Goldman or whatever, and it just feels a little vapid to me. I'm not like brilliant people work at Goldman. The people who are happiest there are clear why they're there.
How did you make the distinction between working in a family foundation and having that sort of impact versus deciding to be kind of an impact investor itself?
I have a lot of respect for private equity, and I don't know anything, and we're just getting started here. So I want to be clear about that. And I mean, that does not rob me of, kind of the right to have a point of view, which is, like, if you're going to invest in K-12 instructional materials and care about quality the way you should, then you can't measure your financial returns on an IRR basis. You can, which is to say, you're going to wind up making trade-offs on kind of product quality and leadership and where you're spending capital if you're rushing on a typical private equity timeline of 5 to 7 years.
Right.
Really 3 to 5 years.
Because it creates decisions, because it forces the entrepreneur to make decisions that might not be geared for long-term outcomes. It's really for that. It's called a medium-term one.
Now, I think that there's a flip side here, which is like, just because we can be patient because of how we're structured and who our limited partners are, doesn't mean we should be. Like, I think we should be going as fast as we possibly can go. And not just because more students need it, and the faster you get to profitability and scale, the more whatever. Like, it's not just like, I think that you could wind up retarding and like the discipline of like how a business is wired by being more patient than you should be. So I believe in real accountability, and I think, again, like, this should go as fast as it can go, but as patiently as it needs to go, in a sense. And I think that's very hard to do in a traditional construct. So are we impact? I just think, like, okay, fine. But if you want to make a lot of money, which in most investors do, and you want to do well, you're not going to do well financially in this space if what you're building is not high quality. You might, but the person who buys the asset from you is going to be set up to fail. And I've seen that. So if what you want to do is create a long-term, high value asset in this space, there's one way to do that that's clearly wrong. There are probably a few ways to do it that are right, but it just can't happen with IRR in mind, in my view.